Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to Rehnama Academy Shakot YouTube channel @Ranarab 4563. Today lecture is for those students who wish to appear for cadet colleges entry test. In the previous lecture I talked about the working of a plant, and then I elaborated its two main system, that is the root system and shoot system. Dear parents, dear teachers, students, all the people listening to my channel and listening my topic, I advise to all of you, whenever you teach students of this level, 6th level, 7th level, 8th level, we must teach with the practical examples, so you can show them. As I have uprooted a small plant, I just show this plant to you, so you can show them this is the root system, and on the root system are the hair-like structures, root hairs. Root hairs basically enhance, mean increase the area for absorbing mineral and salts for the roots, and these roots along with the root hairs, they are very much connected with the soil particles who are rich with the salt and water. They absorb this water. Then definitely there are two very important tissues working in a plant, xylem and phloem tissue. So this water is taken up with the help of diffusion and osmosis. This water reaches to xylem tissue. Xylem take this water to the leaf where it is needed for the process of photosynthesis. Remember, this water is one of the inorganic substance needed for the process of photosynthesis. It is the process through which plants prepare their food. Then this is the shoot system. Shoot system gets xylem phloem bundles. Then outer covering is the epidermis. Cortex cells is there. Then on the outer side are phloem tissue, which conduct prepared food from the leaves to various parts of the plant where it is needed, and also for the purpose of storing that food. On the outer side, these both tissues, xylem and phloem tissues, run through this stem. Remember, shoot system gets this stem, then on the same system plant bears leaves. Leaves basically the place where this process of photosynthesis takes place, through which plants prepare their food. And these two tissues run through this stem. Outer covering of the stem is epidermis, then cortex. Layer of cortex cells is there. Purpose of them is to store prepared food, and epidermis is the protective layer, protects the inner parts of the plant. Then there are running two tissues, xylem, phloem. On the outer side are phloem tissue, inner side are the xylem tissue. Then these are the leaves. So see this leaf, this is the upper portion of the leaf, this is the lower portion of the leaf. Upper epidermis, lower epidermis. In the lower epidermis are present holes which are known as stomata. Singular is the stroma, guarded by guard cells. Those guard cells help in opening and closing of the stomata, where exchange of gases takes place. Carbon dioxide is taken by the plants during daytime inside the leaf, and excessive oxygen is taken out by the leaves, and it is given to the environment, and it is used by us, the whole animals or the whole life existing on this earth crust. Remember, this is the midrib, main midrib, and there are certain leaves who get the branched veins also. The main is the midrib. It is also composed of the xylem phloem tissues. Then mesophyll cells are there. Remember, on the upper epidermis of the leaf are present pores through which excessive water that is vaporized, this process is the transpiration, and it creates transpiration pull. This transpiration pull helps to absorb more water, particularly for those plants which get very much height. So this transpiration pull is needed for those higher plants to get more and more water to reach the leaves for the process of photosynthesis. In the mesophyll cells, these are spongy in shape. These mesophyll cells get spaces between them. They are not rigidly packed. Intercellular spaces are there. These spaces are also helpful for exchanging the gases. Exchange of gases, that is carbon dioxide and oxygen. During daytime, during process of photosynthesis, this oxygen is prepared as a byproduct during the process of photosynthesis, and this oxygen is being produced excessively. So it's used by plants for their breathing process, for their oxidation, and definitely excessive amount is expelled out in the environment for the usage of the rest of the life existing on this earth crust, including human beings. Then the same part of the plant bears flowers. Flowers are, I have taken very small example of the flower. So you can take practical example of the flower. Flower are attached with the stalk, through stalk with the stem. So you can say it is the stalk. Then there is a green whorl, that is sepals. Sepals are protective layer. They protect the inner parts of the flower. Then petals are there, colorful part of the flower. This colorful part helps the flower to attract insects and such type of things which are helpful in pollinating the flower. Pollination is the process through which plants prepare their seed, and fruit also, that is the ripened ovary, we eat as a fruit. Then there is stamen. Stamen gets its filamental part. Then it is the male part of the flower. So you can further divide its various parts, and with the practical example you can make your children learn, as this question is given in the cadet colleges, and that question is elaborate, label the various parts of the flower. So if you teach your kid with practical example, definitely they will remember its various parts and can label various parts very easily during the paper. So starting from the stalk, sepals, petals, colorful part attracts the insects, then definitely there is a male part, that is stamen. So stamen, you can see this it gets its filamental pass named as filament. Then there is anther. In the anther are pollen grain, are produced pollen grain, which are male gametes. Then the female part of the flower, it is the innermost part of the flower, that is the carpel. Swollen part of the carpel is the ovary. Then there is style, and tip of this carpel is the stigma, which receives pollen grain. Those pollen grain, with the help of pollen tube, reach to the ovary, and they fuse with the ovules, eggs, fertilize it, and then production of seeds is taken place, and ripened ovary is eaten as fruit. So gentlemen, this is how the whole process you can teach your kids very easily, starting from the root system, then shoot system gets the leaves, twigs, branches. On the same part it bears reproductive part, flower can be divided into stalk, sepals, petals, male part stamen further divided into filamental part, filament, then anther. In anther are produced male gametes, pollen grain. Then female part of the flower is there, that is carpel. It is the innermost part of the flower. Swollen part of the carpel is the ovary. Then style, stigma receives pollen grain reach to ovule of the ovary through ovule tube and fertilize the ovule. Then formation of seeds is completed here, and ripened ovary is eaten as fruit. This is how you can teach your kid, and they can easily elaborate, label the different parts of the flower that is needed and required in the paper. Thank you to all. Having well wishes for all the students who are appearing in the Cadet College's exam. Thank you to all. Assalamu alaikum.